Finally, it has started. Yeah, good evening and welcome once more to our multi bootcamp conference. Just a quick, should I say, a quick run through of how we operate. I mean, in terms of our webinar. Now, at SmartHub, we run webinars every month. Okay, every last week of the month, we run webinars. But if you've been in this space, you've been in our WhatsApp group, you notice that last month we didn't run any webinar. That's because we knew to well that we are going to have a lot this month to talk about, and a lot of webinars to come on. So all preparations were geared towards this. But just so you know, because most of you now you're coming in to learn with us, you should know how some operations goes on within SmartHub. So every last Saturday or last Sunday of the month, we have webinars boiling around different topics. And most times we have workshops. So the workshops are hands-on, unlike the webinars that are hardly hands-on. We just give you tips, we give you we come and we explain a lot of things to you in different topics or different areas. But the workshops are always hands-on. Where you come, we pick a particular concept, we pick a particular topic, we learn it for a day, or most times we learn it for 3 days. That's basically what we do in the workshop. So even if you already enrolled and then you're learning with us, those workshops are also very relevant because no knowledge is a waste. And aside from that, when you have a repetition of most things, they tend to stick some more. They tend to stick more. So that's the reason we always advise that you still go ahead to attend our webinars. Don't take it that, hey, I'm part of the cohort, I don't need those webinars very long, and that's not the case. You need them. Okay? Yeah, so my name is George Boma Smith. Usually people call me George White. And I'm one of the tutors here at SmartHub. Now, SmartHub is a subsidiary of the parent company called SmartHub Global. That's why if you notice, whenever we make publicities, even if you go to our website, you always see powered by SmartHub Global. If for those of you that are coming for your IT, your COS, in your acceptance letter, you see powered by SmartHub Global, because SmartHub Global is the parent company, and SmartHub is just the training division, the academic division of SmartHub Global. Okay. Now we've been functioning for some years now. When it comes to SmartHub itself, the training arm of SmartHub Global, we started 2018. That's when we started training individuals, 2018. Then we started from data science, data analysis, before we moved down to full stack web development and then mobile app. And thereafter, clouds in cloud computing, later transition to DevOps engineering, cybersecurity, and product design. Then of recent, we introduced deep learning and also AI engineering. So these are the different courses that we basically take, from data science, data analysis, AI engineering, product design, DevOps, cybersecurity, full stack web development. Okay. Now, the reason we started SmartHub and not just focus on SmartHub Global is because there is a gap in the talent pool, okay, the kind of talents that people want to come and work on projects for them. And then we saw that gap, we said, okay, why don't we also train individuals that is going to help fill the gap. For this reason, when you're done training, learning with us at SmartHub, for those that are coming for the bootcamp, when you're done learning with us at SmartHub, we have an internship opportunity with the parent company, which is SmartHub Global, because we always have a product we are building, and there's always something to do. So we give you the opportunity to come work with other persons, people that have been in the field for a while, people that are like you as well, just coming in, and just collaborate, see how it works when it comes to when it goes outside the learning environment. Okay. Unfortunately, those that are doing their IT or COS with us, you won't be able to be involved in internship for multiple reasons. Number one, you once you're done with us, you're going back to school. You won't have time. Number two, um, we've already given you enough discounts, okay? Because the internship, those that are doing their programs with us, it's not like they're paying for it. You come, you learn, it boosts your CV, your resume, and then it makes it easy for you to go out to the job market and look for job. Most persons, while you're doing your internship, you might even get offer somewhere, and then that's a plus for you as well. Now, notwithstanding, for those of you that are coming for your IT or COS, you still have the ability to come back if you want to do your internship, maybe after your school, after you've left school, you've graduated, you can come back and do your internship with us. If you're good enough, perfect, you just go ahead and do the internship. If you think you're rusty, you want to enlighten yourself some more on what you've learned before, then you can enroll on the program or any program at a subsidized rate because you are an alumni. So you can basically register at the subsidized rate and then go have the sessions with us. Okay. That being said, now whether you're an IT student or you're coming for the bootcamp itself, because some persons are asking, hey, we saw that the bootcamp is maybe those coming for AI engineering, bootcamp you're seeing 400,000 or 350,000, and then for the IT you're seeing 90,000. Then you're wondering, this one they are giving us 90,000. I hope they are not going to teach us 20% of what the others are going to learn. Okay, that's not the case. You all learn together. So we don't have that segregation. Everybody's learning together. You're gaining the same knowledge. They are spending 6 months. You're also spending 6 months with us. We don't have that isolation of IT student learn separately, non-IT student learn separately. You're all gaining the same knowledge. Okay. So you should try to wipe that from the back of your mind. You're all gaining the same thing. Now, still talking about the IT before I move down to other things. So some persons, when they saw the flyer, they were like, hey, um, why are we not doing, why am I not allowed to pick 2 or 3 courses out of this? So the reason we don't allow that, well, if you've been in the tech space, you can say, okay, you want to pick 2 programs and work on, that's fine. But if you're just coming in, I don't advise it because you'll be struggling to learn multiple things that are new to you. But for somebody that have been in the space, you can pick up 2 or 3 things at the same time. It doesn't really matter. Okay. I see how some persons struggle because even before we started our IT program, I've experienced other persons, even doing my set when I was in university, though I didn't do industrial training because then my departments, they didn't let us do industrial training. But my colleagues from other departments and all of that, I notice what's been going on. Like you go to some in training centers, they want to bombard you with a lot of things, most of them non-related. Like this week you could learn Excel. The next week you're going to learn Power BI. The week after that you're going to learn maybe Java programming and something like that. And then you touch a whole lot of things within your stay there, and then you can't even hold on to one. So that's why we say, okay, once you come here, you're focused on one area. If it's data engineering, if it's data science, data science. So you're only learning things related to data science. You're not jumping around, except, like I said, you've been in the field and then you want to pick up multiple skills at the same time. Then I would say you can accommodate it. Your brain can possibly accommodate it. Otherwise, it's not advised, even if you're going to pay us more, because if you're picking 2 programs, you pay us for the 2, but we generally don't advise it except you know to whether you've been in the space. Okay. Now, once you enroll, okay, no matter the course you're coming for, you have 3 days at most, okay, that you're going to be learning with us. Within those 3 days, you're learning 2 hours whether be it data science, be it product design, cloud computing, cybersecurity. Though your instructors, okay, for some courses might reduce it instead of 3 days, it can be reduced to 2 days. And then you still learn some more within those 2 days, okay, depending on the curriculum. But the standard we have is 3 days. Now, most of you at some point, maybe in your third or your fourth month with us, you're going to have some time where you will learn not 3 days, but 4 days. Because at that point, you're matured enough to learn two topics in parallel. For example, those doing data science, while they're learning back-end development, they're also learning database management. Okay. The same thing is happening for those for those doing AI engineering, while they're learning back-end, they're also doing database. So at that point, you have to be coming maybe 4 times, or we still leave it at 3 times. This also goes for those doing web development. I think when they get to React, because once they round up React, they have to go to backend. But in the process of learning React, they also learn backend and database management with those doing data science. So then they use 2 days for database management. They also use 2 days for web development. So that is it. So you have between 2 days to 4 days. So some programs, like I know Twitter that for product design, we most times we shuffle it to be just 2 days within the month, within the week rather. For data, the rest of that is always 3 days. Then at some point, like I said, it can be shuffled or adjusted to be 4 days, just for a short period of time to allow you to finish up what you need to finish, because it's a lot. If you guys see our curriculum is so packed. Not just being packed. We don't just say, okay, we have 6 months, so we have to finish everything we have. We must force it to finish it within the 6 months. That's not what we do. We try to focus on the curriculum and make sure you understand it. Okay, so for those of you that are doing your IT, maybe by the end of the 6 months with us, we are not done with the curriculum. You still have the ability to still be coming, because if by 6 months we are not done with the curriculum, we still learn. We go ahead and learn and make sure we cover the curriculum. Okay. So we are more focused on the curriculum than on the duration, but we assume that everything should be covered within 6 months. We have a course that is going on right now. They are supposed to round off this month, but because of the things we're doing on the project, they won't be able to round off this month. They are going to round off next month, because this is 6 months, but they are rounding off next month. So you can see we give that chance, that flexibility to focus more on curriculum than on the time. Okay, that's what we do. Okay, so that being said, next is about how your learning is and your portal. So those of you that have received, maybe you've made payments, you must have received an email where you got added to, where you got an email on how to access the learning portal, and not just how to access the learning portal, instruction on you changing your password and the rest of that. That is where we are going to be using for your materials, your assignments. Okay. If we have recordings for you, that's where the recordings are going to come in, especially those of you that are learning online, that are not coming for the physical classes. This is where we are going to have everything. So if, let me share my screen and show you what we have there. So if you see my screen, so once you, what's it called? Once you make payments, you receive an email that your payment has been logged in, and also you have access to your learning portal. So the learning portal, I think it will take you to learn.smarthub.academy. This is where to take you to. Then you have to log into your portal. Now, once you log into your portal, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm using a development account. So this is what you're going to see on your dashboard. Now, your dashboard gives you a whole lot of things. You have your calendar, where it's going to show you if you have any, what's it called? If you have any event that is upcoming. You also have deadlines for maybe submissions you have, maybe assignments or what have you. Okay, you see the course you applied for. If you have payment that is pending, you see the payment that is pending. If you think that is wrong compared to what you've paid, you can reach out to the admin and then they'll take care of it. For those of you that are doing IT with us, for those of you that are doing your IT with us, once you make your payment, the system is going to process eventually your acceptance letter, and then you're going to see your acceptance letter here. So you can preview the acceptance letter. Why is that? Okay, you can preview the acceptance letter here. You see your details, your departments, your school and everything, including the course you're coming in for. You also have this preview, this barcode that your school can generally scan. Okay, they can scan it and then verify that this is an authentic acceptance letter that is coming from the institution that you're claiming that it comes from. Okay, and as usual, just like I told you, you always see this powered by SmartHub Global there because everything we do is affiliated to SmartHub Global. So that's what you're going to see. You can go ahead and download it and send it to your school, or the same thing here. While you're here, you can just download directly and still give it to your school. Okay, but this we are going to talk more when it comes to the COS. We'll talk more about that when we have a IT training that is coming up this weekend. So we have a lot to talk about when it comes to COS specific topic. For now, we are looking at something general. Now again, if you go to your course, because once you come in here, you see your course. Once you move down to your course, you'll see the different models. Like I said, this is a test account. So these are not just, these are some models that you're using to test. But in your own case, you're going to see the different models. For some models, when you open them, you see that they are empty. In this case, empty simply means you don't have any assignments there. You don't have any material uploaded. You don't have any recording. In other cases, you're going to see recordings and materials that have been assigned to you. For example, if I come to this particular model, you see that I have one recording that I can watch. I also have an assignment that I need to submit. Okay, so once you try to click on the assignment, you see description of the assignments. If there is a link you use to submit the assignment, you see the link. For example, if I click on this link now, it will take me to an external page where I'll see the assignments, and then I'll also see instructions on how to submit it. Okay, so that's for your assignment. For your recording, is the same thing. Once you come here, you see a recording. You can decide to play the recording. If it's something you want to play, you play it here. Or most of these recordings, they'll take you to an external environment where you play it as well. Okay, so that's about the recording, the materials. At the same time, when you're trying to submit your assignments, if you have any issue, you have the ability to communicate with whoever is in charge of the assignments. You can just come here and send a message. Your instructor, whoever is going through the assignment, would see it and respond to you. But you can also decide not to message via the platform and just go to the instructor's DM or drop it on your group chat, and then they would also respond to you. Okay, so you have this for different models. Again, we are going to add it to our Slack channel because whenever an assignment is dropped, most of the times you get notification on Slack. Slack is just like WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is a social platform. Slack is not social per se. Slack is for collaboration in a work setting, but in this case, a learning setting as well. So we are going to add it to our Slack channel, and you also receive emails whenever assignment materials are uploaded and what have you. That's what you have here. So this task is just showing you all the assignments you have. So for example, you can see if I have an assignment here, I also have one assignment here. If I come to tasks, it will just pick all the assignments from all the models and put them in one place. Okay, there you can see the assignment you submitted, the assignment you're yet to submit. Calendar is similar to what you have on the dashboard, telling you events you have coming and what have you. Billing Same thing, if you have your payments, some payments you've not made, you're going to see them here, and then you can contact admins to make your payments. This is when you make communications. This is your inbox that shows you all the communications you've had. This tracks everything you've done on the platform. Okay, when you logged in, when you submitted assignment, when you updated something, it's just all your activities you have on the platform gets tracked there. Then your profile, as usual, this is where you see things about you. If you're an IT student, of what year is going to show you, and then your information. You can change your password and log out and the rest of that. But yeah, you can also update your information. The only thing we don't give you ability to update is your email. For your phone number, even when you update it, admin needs to approve the updates you make. But for your email, you can't update your email. You have to reach out to admin, and then admin will go ahead and update the email for you. Okay, so far I think I've said a lot. I don't know if we have questions before we move down to the next we have on our agenda. Any question you can go ahead and ask. Okay, so there's no question, so we can proceed, which is a good thing, so that we can move basically fast. So the next we have right now is about the different courses. So for today, we are going to be talking about 5 of the courses, because remember we have today and tomorrow. Okay, so first I'll talk about those doing data science, those coming in for data science, those coming in for data analysis and those coming in for AI engineering. Then I'll give my colleagues the floor to talk about their different courses as well. This is the opportunity you have for you to get clarity. If you have any question, don't hold it back. Ask your question, get clarity, so that you know if you want to jump from cybersecurity down to DevOps, or if you want to jump from DevOps down to product design, based on the clarity you're going to get in this session. Okay, so I'm going to talk about data science, data analysis, and AI engineering. Then, like I said, my colleagues will talk about the other areas. Now, for those of you coming for data analysis, now data analysis, what is data analysis about to start with? Data analysis is simply you trying to come up with a decision, trying to make decision or get information, but not subjectively. You're trying to use historical data. So you're backed by data, okay? Trying to come up with those decisions. So for example, why would Facebook, or let me not even use Facebook, for example. Let's say Jumia. Okay, why would Jumia try to say, okay, they will reach out to some, we have people that go to Jumia and just list their products there. But there are some customers that Jumia actually go to and say, hey, we notice that people actually like your product more, okay, and maybe for whatever reason, we want to have a deal with you, okay, to be an official lister on our platform and the rest of that. Why would Jumia do that? For them to do something of such is because they've seen from past record how people patronize or had made that kind of product. For that reason, they are making decisions from that, okay? There are other cases. A business today would say, okay, I want to sell during Xmas period. I want to sell more of these goods and less of these goods, or I want to sell things that women will love more. Or even when it comes to during Valentine period, you see some vendors, they know the kind of product they sell. That's because of what has been going on over years. They know that, yes, during this period, this kind of things sell more. So let's go ahead to advertise those kind of things. That is generally what happens during that period. Okay, so that's simply what data analysis is about. You're trying to make decision, but backed by data. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay, sorry about that. So that's for data analysis. Now, when you're coming to learn data analysis, there are different paths you can take in learning data analysis. But the part we usually advise people to go through at present is what we have here. So let me see if I have it open here. I think data analysis, smart data. I think this should be the one. So the part we advise people to go through at present, prior to this time, it would be the case that, hey, start with Python. Python was the number one when it comes to data analysis. But at present, Python is no longer the number one. So we advise people to go into Excel first, which is what we are going to teach you first. Most times this gets turned around. Instead of Excel first, some persons will try to say, hey, let's learn math and statistics first before we go into Excel. Some will say, hey, let's learn SQL first before we go into Excel. But yeah, we are starting with Excel because we'll explain the formulas for you and everything you need there. So you spend around 4 weeks in Excel, you come to statistics and mathematics, you spend around 4 weeks as well. Because if you don't understand statistics, there's no way you can analyze any data because it's all about statistics. So you do this is what they call your hard skills, okay? The core skills, you learn statistics, then thereafter you talk about your soft skill, how can you tell stories, which we are going to come to. So when you're working with Excel, it's as if you're using what they call what's it called, flat files like Excel, dots, your CSV file, what they call CSV files, and then you have your Excel file, obviously. But in some companies, they don't give you Excel file and what they call CSV file to work with. You have to interact with their database and then do your analysis from their database. So you're going to spend some time, like 4 weeks, learning database and database design and also database management. Okay? How do you design? How do you see different tables? And then you want those tables to communicate. How do you retrieve data from multiple tables? That's what you're going to look at here, spending 4 weeks on that. Then you come to data visualization, or what we call storytelling. When you've analyzed your data, you need to tell stories with it so that people or stakeholders, non-technical people, will understand what you mean. Okay, they don't want you to give them numbers, just at a glance, they should be able to tell a summary of whatever you're trying to give to them. That's where data visualization and storytelling comes in. This is one area where you also need to have your soft skills. Okay, how to tell stories, how to communicate easily without using numbers, or how to make numbers a little bit soft for people that it's hard on them per se. So these are the ones you're going to learn first. Once you're done learning all of these, if you guys are doing well, okay, you're not struggling, we have a lot of projects we've done, then we can now look at Python for data analysis. So this one is taking the back bench because we only come to this if you guys are solid on these ones there, because these are the vital ones. When you go to job markets, you look at job posting and all, this is what they always state. You hardly see job posting on Python. So on Python in data analysis, okay, most times they will add it as a nice to have, of which if you have it, you have an edge because there's a lot of flexibility in using Python to do data analysis. This is what we have for data analysis. Okay, we'll come back and take questions, but not to waste much of the time. I'll just move down to the next one. Just keep your question. You can also drop it in the chat so that once we're done, we can go over what you have in the chat and also answer your questions. Okay? Okay. So next is for those of you coming for data science. So how is data science different from data analysis? In data analysis, you're doing more of what they call descriptive analysis, prescriptive analysis. You're trying to look at what has happened, okay? Why did it happen? Okay, that's what you're looking at in data analysis. But in data science, you're taking it a step further. You don't just want to look at the past record and why you have those past records. You also want to look at what is likely to happen in the future. You want to make predictions. So that aspect of you making prediction, that layer of you making prediction, is what distinguishes a data scientist from a data analyst. Data analysts, they don't predict. Data scientists are the ones that predict. Now, some data analysts, they still go ahead and use what they call regression models. And when you're using a regression model, in a way you're predicting, okay, but quote unquote, once you're doing data science regression model, you're doing far more than that. There are some kind of sophisticated models you're going to learn and learn how to build as well. So that's what distinguishes between a data scientist from a data analyst. But once you're learning data science, in a way, you're learning data analysis as well, because you go through the data analysis pipeline using Python before you now go into the core data science, where you talk about machine learning models, how to build what they call backend systems. That's more like software engineering as well. Okay. So for those doing data science, your curriculum, just like what I've briefly explained, so I'm just going to run through it. You have your Python. Now, I didn't mention this, but version control, which is Git and GitHub, is what you all are going to learn, except those that are doing product design. They won't learn this, but the rest of you, you're going to learn how to collaborate using Git and GitHub. So Python is the core guy you're going to work with. This is going to be for like 4 to 5 weeks. You learn how to program, how to communicate with the computer, how to give instructions, so that you automate tasks, maybe some daily tasks you do, and eventually how to use those things to build softwares. So we'll spend 4 to 5 weeks on Python. Then, just like you have for data analysis, without statistics and mathematics, you can't do anything in data science. So we're going to spend a great deal of time on mathematics. You're going to learn linear algebra, calculus basics, discrete mathematics like combination, permutation, set theory. Then you come to data analysis and your statistics, where you learn descriptive statistics. You won't learn much of inferential statistics, okay, but you won't learn much of hypothesis testing like that, but you learn inferential statistics and probability theory as well. That you're going to learn in statistics. So while you're learning these two, mathematics and statistics, you're going to be using it along with this other two, NumPy, which is used for numerical computation. You see, basically what you do in Excel, that's what you do in NumPy. What you do in Excel is also what you do in Matplotlib, because Matplotlib is used for data visualization. When you want to graph things, that's when you use Matplotlib. This one uses for numerical computation. When you want to add, subtract, multiply, do some kind of statistical manipulation, that's when you use NumPy. Then we have pandas. All pandas does is to combine NumPy and Matplotlib in a unified way. It combines these two and make one to now give you what they call pandas. Usually we call pandas the elder brother to Excel, because it does far more than what Excel can do, especially when it comes to data accommodation. Excel cannot accommodate as much data as pandas can accommodate. So you're going to learn pandas, okay, for like 3 to 4 weeks, which you're going to use for data manipulation, cleansing, and the rest of that. Then, at this point, you're still learning data analysis as a data scientist. Okay, what you're learning is still data analysis. You're still going to learn database design, which is still part of data analysis. Is once you're done with database design, you now come to this core machine learning. This is what makes you a data scientist, because everything you've learned so far is you learning data analysis, but using the Python parts. Then you come to the machine learning, where you learn how to build. What do you mean by machine learning models? What do you understand by supervised and unsupervised? These are things we'll go in details, in great deal, and explain. They are similar to the ChatGPT you're using or the Claude you're using. The models that's underneath powers them is what you're going to learn how to build. Yeah, but you're going to learn how to build the classical type of machine learning models. These are models that make prediction. How does Netflix know that you're going to like a particular kind of movie? Or how does Jumia know that you're going to like some kind of product? There are some kind of analysis, in this case, machine learning model that goes on behind the scene to make those predictions for you. So you making forecasting, you making forecast or prediction is what machine learning models are all about. When you're learning machine learning, there are three basic libraries we like using. One of them is called scikit-learn. One is called PyTorch. We also have TensorFlow. But in classical machine learning, we use scikit-learn. Is when you're done with classical machine learning, you want to go into the what they call deep learning. That's when you talk about PyTorch or TensorFlow. But as a data scientist, you also have to know how to build backend systems, softwares, but backend of the software, because for software development, we have the front end, we have the backend. You need to know how to build backend system, because if you build your model, people cannot use your model. How would somebody communicate to your model and say, hey, I have somebody is I have somebody that's called so and so in chemistry, or I have somebody that is of this age, and then the person has this height, the person has this complexion. Is this person going to be a good friend? Models can do that for you. You won't be able to give those things to your models, except you have a backend system. We have what they call, all of these are good. We are going to explain to you. So you need to learn how to build backend systems. Here we're using a Python framework called Fast API. That's what we're using to build our backend system. So this is the curriculum we have when it comes to those doing data science. Okay. Like I said, you can just drop some notes in case you have some questions so that you won't forget. Finally, on my end, to explain to you, for those doing AI engineering, this is what we have for them. Now, there are two major parts if you want to do AI engineering. We have the software development part, and then we have the data scientist part. I don't think I have the data scientist part here. But we have the software development part and the data scientist part. So for the software development part, you're not interested on how to build machine learning models. You're interested in how to use them, how to use models to build things like chatbots, how to make use of models to build things like AI secretary, how do you use it to build a system that will automatically perform some actions on your behalf when you're not there, or on behalf on a particular business. Those kind of things you want to do. You're not interested in how they build those models. You're interested in how to use those models. So yeah, the first thing you're still going to learn, just like those doing data science, is Python. So you're going to spend around 4 weeks or 5 weeks learning Python. Once you're done learning Python, you now have to learn database design. Okay? Just the same thing those learning SQL and those learning what front-end lands, and those learning data analysis and data science lands. You have to learn database design with them. So this is where you learn how to communicate with storages, okay, which you already know by now, but we'll still explain more. Then you learn backend development, just like the data scientist, because without backend development, in fact, once you're an AI engineer, you just live in the backend, okay? Though most AI engineers, they still do front end. For example, myself, I'm a full stack developer. I also do AI engineering, so I also do front end as well. So you spend your time learning backend development. Then we introduce you to machine learning. Introduce you because you don't want to know how to build machine learning models here. You just want to have some terminology, some concepts, so that when you're using the models that we call LLMs or those AI agents, you know what is powering them, how they generally function, even if we are not going to go in depth and show you the maths or go ahead and start building the models. That's what those learning data science will do. You are not going to build model. You would understand how those models work. So once you're done with this guy, then you come to the main deal. This is what separates you from a software developer. Software developers, they can build back-end systems. Most if it's a full stack developer, you can also build a front-end system. But once you're able to now use large language models or AI in your software development career or pathway, you now become an AI engineer. So here you're going to understand what AI generally is, what are LLMs or large language models, which is what you guys are using. Understand a lot of terminologies behind it. Okay, we are going to do here, we'll spend a great deal of time talking about some theories and see some kind of calculations as well. Yeah. Then you come to prompt engineering, which is something that how should I put it? It is what distinguishes between two systems that are built using the same technology and meant to do the same thing. What makes one system to be better than the other is the kind of instruction, which here we call prompt, the kind of prompt you give to that system. So we spend some time understanding what prompt engineering is. How do you develop good prompts? How do you go to ChatGPT, for example, and then you give it an instruction, it gives you exactly what you want, okay? And how do you use that kind of prompt to build systems that people are going to use? Why do you guys like Claude, for example, compared to ChatGPT? There is this prompt, there are these system prompts that are well engineered that they have there compared to what other systems have. Though the models are also doing well, but aside from the models, we have what we call the prompts, which are the instructions that helps powers the system. So you're going to learn prompt engineering, then you come to AI frameworks. So the frameworks are, we can first use Python to communicate with ChatGPT, communicate with Claude API. But then there are some people that have packaged those things for you to make life easy. So once you learn how to do it the hard way, you now have to go into the soft life. The soft life is you using frameworks, just like the way people use React instead of writing vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's the same thing. This is a framework that you're going to use. We have different frameworks here, but we are going to talk about mostly LangGraph, LangChain. We have what we call Llama Index and a whole lot of them. That's what we are going to look at there. Then we see how to work with them when you have documents. Okay, when you ask ChatGPT some questions, it might give you some rough information, but then you want the information to be particular about your business or about yourself. You have to feed it some data. But we see a well orchestrated way of having data into your models so that they can answer relevant questions. We call that RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. So you're going to spend time here, and then you come to what we call agents, which are basically LLMs that are autonomous. They act on their own. They know when to go and use maybe your credit card to purchase. They know when to go ahead and send email to somebody. They know when to do some other processes. We call them agents, okay? So we are going to learn how to build agents and autonomous systems. We have a couple that we are using in SmartHub. For example, I told you guys about your Slack channel. There are a lot of automations going on your Slack channel that we built into our system so that it will make life easy for even persons working at SmartHub, okay, make life easy for them. They don't have to start trying to do things the manual way. Then all of these are things we are going to look at while we are learning all the things I've mentioned. How to evaluate our models, the same thing we are going to be learning with how to test. This is another area we are now going to spend time on is once you've built your models, you've built your system, how do you push it out there? How do you deploy it? So we'll spend some time here as well. In a way, it's as if you're talking about what the DevOps engineers are doing or the cloud computing experts are actually doing, but you can't even smell 10% of what they can do. Just that you just need to have the knowledge so that whenever you're in a room communicating with them, it will become easy for you to carry out that conversation. The same thing I always try to tell people, you want to go into full stack development, or rather you want to go into back end development, or you want to go into front end development. I always try to advise people that learn full stack, okay, so that you understand the ecosystem. Then you can major in front end or major in back end. But first, learn the full stack development. Okay, that's the same thing that I would advise that you do here. Okay, so I think I've said a lot. This is all I have for you guys. If you have questions, I'll briefly take some questions so that my colleague would take over from there. Do we have questions? You can drop it in the chats or you can unmute and just indicate by raising your hand. I think we have the button there and then we'll give you opportunity to ask. Yes, Wiki, hope you don't want to come and take our land. You can ask.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Please, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you though we're struggling, I think, so I don't know if I'm the only one struggling.
Okay, so let me just off my earphone so it's easier for me. Okay, I think this is better. Can you hear me now? Good evening.
Yeah, better. Good evening. Yeah.
Please, as regarding the comparison we did in data analysis and data science, I think asking in a practical, should I say, question. I want if somebody is into forest trading, or like, the person is going to 2 years now. I mean, the person is actually trying, seeing some results with a friend, passing from and thereabout. So and the person wanted to like go into testing to back up, should I say, a certificate as a computer engineering student, sir. Sir, now I'm asking, sir, what course is actually preferable? Is it data science or data analysis?
Okay, so you're focused on between data science and data analysis, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, you for someone that is into you said forex, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah, if you're into forex, at least for someone that is into that field, between these two, the one I would advise such person to go for is data science because forex is all about predicting the markets. And that's what you do in data science. Though in data science, you're doing something general, then you apply it in one area. And forex is one area that you can apply that kind of knowledge. Um, Anything prediction, that's what you're doing in forex. You're predicting what's going to happen and how the market will flow and all of that. So in this situation, um, between these two, left for me, I would say, hey, go with data science.
Okay, yeah, thank you, sir. I really appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay. So I think I saw somebody drop something in the chat. Let me check. Um, so someone is asking, what's the real work of AI data science engineer? So that you mean AI engineer or data scientist? Which of them? You can still drop it in the chat. Is it AI engineer or data scientist? That is Roland. Okay, AI engineer. So an AI engineer, he's a software developer to start with. Now, software developers, what they do is they build systems. I'll show you a quick example on something I was working on. So a quick example is, let's say you have a system like this. Let me think of this, yeah, development environment. So let's say you have a system like this. This is a personalized AI secretary. So once you come to this AI secretary, you have the ability to communicate with them to understand, hey, what is going on? What's your business about? For example, if I come here, which is what we call a chatbot, I can go ahead and send message and then I get replies from suppose the business, but in this case, it's not the business because they just have an AI engine that goes ahead to respond to this. So it can see, they say, hey, hello again, welcome back to Flive AI, what can I, and so on. So you can say, hey, tell me about your services. Tell me about your services and your address or possibly something of such. And then to go ahead and respond accordingly to based on the knowledge that the business have given it the ability to respond on. So anything the business doesn't give you the ability to respond on. So you can see it giving me a whole lot of information, telling me, okay, great question. Here's our info, our services. This is what they offer this particular company. And it's to go ahead and because I told it, give me your address as well. It went ahead to give me the address, 14 weekly close, Lagos, and the rest of that. Gave me the phone number of the company. So I don't really have to go to this particular website or this individual's page to learn things. I can easily communicate with this chatbot. For you to have a chatbot like this, it's made possible by an AI engineer. It does far more than this, but for the sake of time, we can't start going into it. But this is made possible by an AI engineer. What we have here is a software, but now this software here is smart because it can respond human-like, okay, do things that generally you would have employed a customer agent to come and do for you. That is what this system is going to do for you. Okay? That's a good example of what AI engineers do. Does that make sense? Okay, so anything else with regards to your acceptance letter? Somebody's asking about that. Not to worry, we'll talk more about those. We have a dedicated session this weekend. So for those of you that are for IT, we have dedicated session where we'll talk about how you fill your logbook, how you even how you fill your logbook, how to submit your Form 8, and a whole lot of things that are IT specific. Those we are going to talk about them when we see on Saturday. So there is going to be a session on Saturday for that. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'll stop here for now. If by the time my colleagues are done, if there is still more time, then we can take more questions. Though you still have the ability to ask questions on the group chat in case you're not opportune to ask it here right now. But let's give them the chance to express themselves so that you ask them as much questions as you want. Then we can come back and possibly take some other questions if you wanted to ask. Okay, so I'm going to give Mr. David the floor. Mr. David is the lead instructor when it comes to software development. He's going to be the one to be taking you guys on full stack, those of you that are coming for full stack. But I don't want to say much about him before he attacks me that I'm doing far more than expected. So I'll give him the opportunity to call us coming. Mr. David, the floor is yours. Thank
Good
you.
evening, everybody. I was thinking you would just complete the whole thing so that we'll go and sleep.
Sorry,
But
sir.
it's okay.
Sorry, sir.
It's okay. So for I want to welcome everybody, especially those who are coming in to do full stack development. It's a great feat. Is one step that if you take it very seriously, it changes a lot for you. Because as a software engineer, I don't want to start mentioning, oh, you can work in this place, you can work there, you can do this, you can do that. It makes you a better person as an individual because now you don't only see the world as try and error. You see it as systems. There are things that are put in place and it works. So, so if you're coming in to do full stack engineering, full stack, the name is full, meaning there's half. So if it is called full stack, there is a half of it. The half of it is front end and the other half is back end. So when you put the two of them together, becomes full stack. So a full stack engineer is somebody who can do both the front end and the back end. That is why it's called full stack. Now it's not compulsory that you must do full stack. For some persons, they might decide to learn the full stack and then focus on one half. One half meaning either front end or the part of the software you can see, you can interact with. An example being this Google Meet that we're using now. Some persons are using the app while some persons are using it on the browser. So either you're using it on the app or on the browser, You are just interacting with the front end. That's the part you are seeing. I can see my picture, I can see your pictures. That is just the front end. Now, the front end, to build a web front end, or maybe a mobile front end, which I'm not talking about mobile, I'm actually talking about web. Now, but being a full stack developer is not only limited to being a web developer. Some people attribute what they hear full stack. It means you're only building website. Not really, because the back end you build as a full stack developer can power any other system that uses a back end. So you're not just a web developer, but for the period of your training, you are going to learn how to build a website. And the website is not a static website. You are building a web application. And that will be maybe when you come to class, you get to understand the difference between a static website and a web application. So, but for front end, you're going to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, these things could sound regular. They could sound, a lot of persons have heard them over and over again. Even some persons are scared of it. They become scared of it. They feel like, I tried it the first time, I can't do it again. And I'm not sure you tried it with me in SmartHub, because every single person that goes through full stack development will definitely know how to build with these three technologies. So, but just HTML and CSS and JavaScript is not enough to make you a front-end developer. You also need to learn React. Now, by the time you learn React, then you can start applying for jobs as a front-end developer. So, but if you want to take it further, which is what I believe you are here to do, that is to cover the full part, which is full stack. You take on the back end. For the back end, you already know, if you did front end with us, you will already know JavaScript. So on the back end, you will also be writing the same JavaScript. You will not be learning a new programming language, just the same JavaScript, which is one of the beauties of JavaScript. JavaScript anywhere is JavaScript anywhere. Whether you are writing it, I don't want to start calling it, but anywhere you hear JavaScript, just the same JavaScript. But the JavaScript we write on the back end is a type of JavaScript that you would need a runtime environment, something to run it, which is what we call the Node.js. I want to believe some persons have heard of Node.js, but in class we are going to treat what Node.js is and how to write your JavaScript to run with Node.js. So if by the time you learn Node.js and add it to what you know on the front end, you become a full stack engineer. Some people go on and they run with it. They run with full stack, while some people run with front end, some run with back end. Now, the beauty of learning full stack is you can't actually predict which one or where your strength lies in. So some persons get to learn two of them and then pick their strength. Now, but for those who are exceptional, they can do both of them. They do the front end and do the back end. So if a job for front end comes in, they apply. If a job for back end comes in, they apply. If a job for full stack comes in, they also apply. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Smart Hub. That is my own pep talk for you. And I hope that very soon we'll start our class together and we'll get to enjoy it. Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions, you can drop it on the in-call message. I will attend to them. Nobody wants to give me thumbs up. What did I do to you people then? All right, thank you. Obed, you were gonna say something. Go ahead, Obed. Thank you. Obed, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Yeah, Obed.
I think I have question for Mr. George.
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask. for the AI engineers, when we are building a chatbot or this, because it kind of say that we are also developers. So for the AI engineers, and you say that the AI engineer mostly focuses on back end. So who built the front end for the AI engineers?
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Now, once you're coming into tech, you're not going to be solo. You always have a team you work with. Okay. Though we know too well that as a full stack developer, you can build the front end, you can build the back end. But even as a full stack developer, most times you guys can be 4 or 5 on the team. Multiple persons are working on the front end, multiple persons are working on the back end. That's the same thing that happens when you're an AI engineer. If you're an AI engineer that primarily, obviously, you have to focus more on the back end. Then you have a front end developer that you communicate with that is now going to use or quote unquote consume the APIs that you built. Okay. For example, in what I showed you guys here, um, I'm acting as an AI engineer. However, we also have a developer that is a front-end developer. All he does is front-end. So most times I just build APIs for some areas and then I send it to him, and then he goes ahead to build the front end and connect the front end to the back end. There are some instances where I have to do the front end and the back end as well. But you always have a team you work with. You have somebody you work with that is always going to build a front end for you. Now, that's being said, it doesn't rule out the fact that most times you might decide that, hey, I've learned the back end. I also want to learn front end. I want to be a full stack AI engineer. That is going to be a plus as well. Because with that, some companies right now, with this advent of what they call coding tools and the rest, they look for people that, okay, you're a full stack developer or you're an AI engineer, but at the same time you have you have tastes for beauty. Okay, that's going to be a plus, but it's not a core requirement to do front end as an AI engineer. Does that make sense, Roland?
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so before I take Emmanuel, sorry, before Emmanuel, please, this session on Saturday for IT students is online. It's by 8 p.m. They'll still drop more information for you. For those of you that I think Joshua is asking on a group chat, they'll drop more information for you. You also receive an email if you've registered on the platform, that if you made payments already, there is also an email that is going to go out to you as well before then. But it's going to be on Saturday by 8 p.m. Yes, Emmanuel, you can Roland, you can raise your hand. Emmanuel, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I just wanted to, this is a general question. I wanted to find out for the classes, is it compulsory that we join them, or in case of network failure or anything, can we just stick to the recorded section if there are challenges? That's number one. And number two, our assignment, do they have deadlines?
Yes, so number one, all our sessions are recorded. So every session you're having is always going to be recorded. So you can always pick it up if maybe for some reason you weren't able to finish the session, or for whatever reason you weren't able to attend that class, which of course we try to advise you to try as much as possible to not miss your classes. But we're humans, this is life, anything can happen. You might have some emergencies. Those sessions are always recorded for you, not just for you, even for those that are coming for offline sessions. They have the ability to go through what those that are doing it online have learned, just to revise. Okay, so those sessions are always recorded. About your assignments, yes, your assignments, they all have deadlines. There's always a countdown. If once you go back to the platform or so, if you have access, and then once there's an assignment, you see the countdown there. In fact, you always get a Slack notification, 2 days, 1 day, 4 hours to the deadline, you get notification that say you have to submit your assignment. You have you have so and so time or to submit the assignments. So there are deadlines for your assignments. Yes. Talking about assignments, it's always it's also you try as much as, because you guys know by the end of the session you're going to get some certifications. But if we notice that you're not doing well, I mean, when I say doing well, you're not keeping to submission of assignment, you're not trying your best to make sure you get some persons, you give them assignment, they have some issues, they won't bother, they'll just go ahead and leave it like that. You're not trying to get clarity. Once you understand that, you can't just be done and then you say, hey, you want your certification, you want us to give you certificates. You're done quiet, we've taught you, we are not going to give you a certificate, because you won't take our certificate out there and say you learned from SmartHub, but then you can't show well for it. If you really want it, okay, then in that situation, we note whether you weren't following, you weren't really doing well because you're not putting that effort in class. We'll set an exam for you, you write that exam before we give you certificates. But for the rest of you, once we check the rate at which you submit assignment, and you collaborate, we know that yes, you actually followed, not just to go and then copy somewhere and submit assignments. Because we'll gauge you. Most of the assignments, you're going to come and defend it, so that you not just go and copy somewhere and come and submit. Then the certification is automatic for you as well. Yeah. Okay, so Evans, I don't know, you wanted to ask a question. Evans, she's not hearing, right? Okay, no question from Evans, or he's not here with us. Mr. David, yeah, back to you.
Okay, I'm done with mine, so I think I rounded up with that. We can give the baton to someone else.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. So you can still advance in case you come back, or if you can hear me, you can still drop your question in the chat. We'll go over it, even if it's for Mr. David, he's still going to come back and answer it. Okay. So next, I'm going to call on a lot of designs. Okay, Mr. Ayo. Okay, he's the lead when it comes to product design at SmartHub. He's been in the field for, in fact, let me just allow him to go ahead and introduce himself. Mr. Ayo, the floor is yours right now, all the way.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, from wherever you are joining the call this evening. Yeah, Ayole Iluogo. I'm a digital product designer, and yeah, I'm very privileged to be with you guys this evening here. Yeah, Mr. George and Mr. David, they have actually said a lot, like I think for the past 1 hour. They have actually said a lot coming to tech, different career paths that you can actually choose in tech, and how you can actually navigate yourself. Just talked about AI, data science, machine learning, why David talked about front end, back end, full stack. But one thing that actually stood out in both what David and George said is that you and I mean myself and probably Peter, or myself and Dorcas, what George and David is saying, we might not have access to it. All what they are saying might just be abstract to us. I don't know if you guys are getting me. David is talking about front end, back end, George is talking about AI. But if there's nothing to bring those stuff to life, like if there's nothing to actually communicate it to myself and you, there's no way I can interact with it. Probably if that is too abstract to you guys, imagine you want to send money to someone, and then someone said, "Oh, you can actually send money," but then you don't have a medium to send that money. You don't have a medium to send money, but someone is telling that you can actually use OPay to send money, but you don't have the medium to send the money. That is where design comes in. So it doesn't actually design the interface. So the old AI, or Mr. J is talking about data science or front end, back end that they are talking about. someone somewhere need to design that interface so that they can communicate whatever they're talking about in front end, whatever they're talking about with AI, they can communicate it to who and who want to use the product. So someone need to design. That is what they call the UI UX guys. So they are the ones that design those interface itself. Currently, we are on Google Meet, and now if you look at, if you're joining your laptop, you're joining with your phone, you can see some people are joining, some people are leaving, some people are dropping emoji. The whole of these interactions, the whole of this interaction is being designed by someone. Everything that's happening here still involves your backend front end. There's layer of front end, there's layer of backend in this Google Meet. But for you to actually see it itself, a designer needs to design the interface. So that's where the product designer comes in, or UI UX designer. I don't know if I just give a brief summary of what designers does in the whole layer of. So you cannot have a system without having a designer. Now, the question might be bothering you guys, are like, oh, they might be like, oh, probably you guys might be researching, like AI is coming, AI is going to take the work of designer, AI is going to take the work of developer. The question I've told to you guys that same AI interface, who is going to design it? AI cannot design it. AI will not bet itself. Like if one AI bet on that one, so who bet the first AI? The first AI the first AI that will come, someone needs to design it. I don't know if you guys are getting my point. So the designer needs to come in, the UI UX guys need to come in for you to have that particular platform, that particular interface, for you to have access to it. There's no way you can have access to your WhatsApp today if designer did not design it. You wake up in the morning, you see that WhatsApp already removed one feature or they add one feature. WhatsApp is one of the, I think, one of the robust platforms that I've actually been interacting with lately. Every week, these guys add features, they remove features. You are seeing those stuff, you are seeing from your own end because the designer must have worked on it. The designer will design the interface. Oh, we want to remove an icon from here. They will design it, then they will now pass it to developer. Like someone asked a question concerning, or maybe probably if you are doing data science, if you are doing AI, who will be building the back? I don't know. I think someone asked that question. Yeah, and George responded to the person that in the industry, one person doesn't do the work. Yeah, it's more like you are building a house. A bricklayer is coming to do his own part. A carpenter is coming to do his own part. Electrician is going to do their own part too. That's how it works too in building solution, in building software here. The first set of people that are going to do their own part is the designers. Before a developer will start working, either you are building for AI, you are building data science platform, you are building front end for mobile app or whatever. A UI UX guy will start first. They are the one that will design the interface. They are the one that will design the layouts. Like this Google Meet that we are currently now. If you look at, if you're joining your phone or you're joining your laptop, so there's a trend. The size of your picture and the size of the next person's picture is the same. You cannot have the David Sampson pictures and probably my own is the same size. So a designer designed that. A designer must have designed layouts to make sure that everything is perfect. The OP app on your phone and the OP app on no one's phone is the same. So the designer must have designed it. They make sure that everything, we're talking about the color, the typography that is front, everything are perfect. That is what the designer does. Now, in terms of the UI UX now, we're not talking about experience, user experience. Probably for those of us who probably we might be familiarized with this, talking about user experience, how you interact with the platform. George, is there any other question? People send emoji. That is interaction. They're letting George know that, oh, I don't have any question again. Oh, probably Roland raised up his hand. He's telling George that I still have a question. That's why I'm raising up my hand. So interaction itself is part of the work. So a UI UX guy don't just only focus on the interface, on the structure alone. They equally focus on the experiences that you are getting. I'm so certain that a lot of us here use the normal traditional bank. When I say traditional bank, talking about the likes of First Generation Bank, First Bank, UBA Bank, and there is a difference between using those banks to using the 21st century bank. When I say 21st century bank, sorry, yeah, it's not 21st century. Like the new banking, the new bank system, that is likes of OPay and Gray and the likes. I'm 100% sure that we all know the difference between using those banks and this. I don't want to call names. I don't want to, but I'm so sad that there's a reason why vast majority of us prefer to be using OPay to using the normal traditional banks. Why? Because these guys actually provide a better experience. These guys provide a better experience for you. You can easily open your OPay, receive money. You don't need to panic. If someone is sending you money, I don't think you need to panic like, oh, probably you know receive money, probably the money is being hanging for 2 days, 3 days, and then you have to walk into the bank to go and complain before they will log in. Like, you don't need to panic about that. That's because they have a better experience. The experiences that you experience, like the interaction you experience when you are working on, when you are on a particular platform. Oh, you're trying to join the call, you unmute yourself, you on your video. That is user experience. That is user experience. User experience is the experiences users feel when they're using a particular platform. Someone must work on that before. Forget about anything you are building. Like I said, you are building data science, you are building AI platform, you are building robotic. Forget about it. Someone need to design that interface itself. The experience. Oh, when you prompt your AI that AI, can you tell me we already use ChatGPT or some other or Cloud or whatever. When you prompt AI like AI, tell me about myself, it responds to you. That experiences that you are getting, someone design how it performs. That is what a UI UX guy is doing. The user experience. Now, the user interface that you are seeing there is the interface, the look. Like I said earlier, if you look at our Google Meet here now, the avatar, I mean the image or the profile picture of David and that of probably Joel is the same size. That's the interface. So someone designed. Now, when I talk about the product, when I talk about user experience, then user interface, and now you're not talking about the market value. You know that as a designer, or not even a designer self, if you're working in a bakery today, the salary that they are paying you in a bakery, by default, that salary that they are paying you or the work you are doing for that bakery, you're supposed to bring in an input to the company. Nobody employs you for fun. Do you understand? I don't know if I'm communicating. Hello? Can you guys say hello? Nobody employ you for fun. Like, there's always a KPI that's tied down to what they employ you for. If you are working in a factory, even as an Agbero too, as an Agbero, there's a KPI that's tied to Agbero. There's an amount of money you need to bring in at the end of the day, at the end of the month. There's always a KPI tied to this. So the same thing too, as a designer, as a UI designer, that particular product you are designing, what is the business implication? There needs to be a business implication to it. You're not just designing because, oh, it looks fine. Oh, it's fine, man, guy, I don't finish work. No, you're not just designing because of that. There needs to be a business implication. Why should I be having this button here? Why should this icon be here? You should be able to tell the business implication of that icon, of that button towards what you are building, because nobody is going to employ you for fun. Like, oh, we just employ water, we just pay water salary. Nobody does that. That's the salary that they're paying you. Then one way or the other, you need to bring the money back. So you should be able to design a particular product that converts. So the process of you trying to combine your user experience knowledge, your user interface knowledge, and then talking about the business of the products, that's where product design comes in. So it's saddening that a lot of people doesn't really know the difference between UI UX and product design. Yeah, people will be like, oh, I want to go and learn UI UX, I want to go and learn product design. I'm learning product design. It's a lie. They're not the same. Product design UI UX are not the same. You can be a UI UX designer and not being a product designer. Product design is more of like a superset or a model to UI UX. Like I said earlier, your user experience UX is all about the feelings that you have when you're using a particular product. Oh, you click on this button, it goes like, if I mute myself now, you guys will know me again. Those are the experiences. Now the interface, the look, the beauty, that's user interface. Now when you combine these two together, and then you're talking about the business implication. Imagine why do you think that when you send money on OPay will show you the receipt, and then under the receipt they will show you share receipts. They are not saying the share receipt button that you are seeing on OPay. It's not just because you want to prove to Precious James that you sent her money. It's not just because of that. It's more like an upselling or a marketing strategy for them to like, oh, Precious, I'm using OPay. It's not just to prove to her that I've sent your money. I can actually go and text her and like, what's up? I don't send your 5K. But you see the share receipt there, and there's a share button there. So there's an upselling in that particular button that users that they want you to use. That is why you see that. That is why you see. That's why you see a product like that. If you use boats, if you notice that immediately you are dropping off your boats, they are giving you 18, you are paying. Those connections that they are connecting the dot from one point to another, that's part of product design. So product design in summary is all about you talking about the user experience, talking about user interface, and how your design is having impact on the business. Why your UI/UX alone is talking about the experience and the interface. And in terms of job opportunity, yeah, the market is wide. The market is wide, and now that everything is expanding, because the more that we are having here that is coming, the more the market is expanding. That's the secret. I was talking to one of my mentees, I think was it last month or last week, some weeks ago. So the question was about like this year that is coming now. How we are going to do this? How we going to do that? One thing is that if you don't know what you are doing, you end up being swung away with AI. And I will say this in this call today: the buzzword of AI will come and it will go. Yeah. For those of us that were in this industry as far as 2019, 2020, 2021, we know of NFT. Oh, I think 2021 everybody was talking about NFT, OpenSea, what's happening now? The buzz came and go. The buzz of Web3 came and go. Like, as a matter of fact, as of 2020, I was already designing Web3 platform. But where is it today now? Talking about developer, 2022, people are talking about smart contracts. Where are they now? So the fact that the buzz of AI is going to, the AI buzz, everybody's talking about AI now, but that buzz is coming and it's going to go. That's 100%. It will come and go. The only thing that will stay in this AI era is the fact that if you can actually apply AI to whatever you are doing, you're a developer, you're a designer, if you can adopt AI to actually fast track your work, that's the only thing that is going to stay. But you see, that issue of like, AI is going to collect my work, it's a lie. Nothing is going to collect your work. Designer will still be needed, developer will still be needed out there. And another trend is that if you go online today, like I was so mad yesterday, I saw an ad on YouTube. I think it was this one oil like that, or this vegetable oil. I think one is it Gino, I don't know. Like they use AI to actually produce the ad, the video. There's this look, AI video look. If you generate image with AI, there's this offensive look that is giving. If you design a flyer with an AI, there's this nonsense, like it's not looking view. You know that in the next 2 years, we'll get tired of those images. We get tired of seeing those exact look, like images, video that AI is produced for you is always looking alike. So one thing is that a lot of people feel like, why should I go and learn tech this area? It's a lie. AI is not replacing anything. The other thing is that if you know your AI, it's going to fast track whatever you're learning. Yeah, whatever you're doing. Probably something that you're supposed to spend like 4 hours to work on, you might end up spending 2.5 hours, because one and a half hours out of what you are doing, AI might actually facilitate it. That's just the only thing, but not like it's going to go to take away your stuff. So sorry about the digression. Let me go back to design. And then in terms of design, there are a lot of things that you need to put in place to be a designer, which is part of why I'm here for you guys in training you guys as a product designer, UI designer, and also the tools that we are going to be using. Yeah, probably for those of you that are familiar, we're going to be using Figma, Miro, Webseeker, and some other tools like that. But in summary, there's no product that you are going to be seeing, either an AI platform, a data science platform, whatever problem that you are going to be seeing out there that designer will not work on. The first point of people that they will call it designer, they are the one that will come and design the interface first before they bring a developer to come and work. And in terms of job opportunity, yeah, as a designer, I'm sorry to use this word. You know that if you're a data scientist, your work might actually be you're actually going to probably be working for a data science company that deals with data. You might not actually even have work to do with probably a family, or you might have work to do in family. Yeah, probably are doing data, but probably in data shop. Yeah, you might be limited to some places, some like you might be there. But as a designer, once as a designer, like you work in everywhere. As a designer, you work everywhere, because even that same data science company that deals with data, that deals with AI, they need the designer to come and design interface for you. That's cool. That has an LMS system. they need the designer to come and design the interface for them. That farm that has a farm output that is produced, they need the designer to come and design for them. That crypto industry need the designer to come and design interface for them. So that's another advantage of being a designer. Like you get to actually your job, you are not job restricted, or you are not job limited in terms of looking for a job in the tech industry, because there's no industry that doesn't need you as a designer. Even in the oil industry too, yeah, you need, like I've seen a lot of adverts from I think I saw for Schlumberger, I saw for Shell. They're looking for user experience designer, because these days now those guys are looking for how they can actually model their oil, probably without getting to the bedrock. So that is just the summary of everything that I have for you guys. A lot of stuff I have for back on my slide, but because of time, I couldn't share my slide with you people. But one thing I will believe in for is that user interface is the interface that you are seeing when you are interacting with particular products, while the user experience is the feeling that you get when you use a particular product. Then when you combine these two together, and then you're talking about the business implication, the market value of that product, then you're talking about a product design. And again, like I said, as a designer, you are versatile. The guy that asked about, I think there was a guy that asked about Forex trading. The interface that you use in trading your Forex, a designer designed that interface for you. The reason why I don't really know, I shall know that they used to can stick. The reason why you are seeing your red, your signal, click on, and a designer must have designed those interface for you to be able to see it. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Good night.
Wow, that's a lot. You guys, please react if you really enjoyed that session. But that was a lot. Thank you, Mr. Ayo. You guys noticed when I said fire down, because well, it's a good thing that today was able to limit himself. If not, left for him alone, he would like to talk to you guys till 11, and he always has something to say. Okay. So for today, so if you guys notice, we said this is a 2 days conference. For today, when it comes to your tutors, we also still have that for cybersecurity, that for DevOps engineering. Okay, but they won't be able to come in to talk to you guys today because we still have a lot to talk to you about. So tomorrow we'll talk to you about those things you still have to understand before we give room to the cybersecurity expert and the DevOps engineer that we have to come and explain, and then you get to ask questions as regards to DevOps engineering. What is it about? Where is it used? How is it different from cloud computing? And also cybersecurity. You can ask, how can you hack World Bank, and how can you hack wherever you want to hack? But we kick against that. But then you can ask any question you want to ask by tomorrow and get to understand the cybersecurity and the DevOps engineering ecosystem. So a lot we have in store for you. Now, I know most of you, most of you, maybe you wanted to come for offline, the on-site, but then you weren't able to make it. Now, for the conference is today and tomorrow by 8 p.m. But then on Wednesday, we have the off-sites, we have the on-site, rather, we have normal training. So for this week, in fact, I'll come back and talk about that. Okay, I have a lot I have to talk about, but then I'm going to give my colleague, Mr. Walter, to address you guys. Then I can come back and then round off on with what I have to say to you guys. Yeah, Walter. Walter is not present. Okay. Miss Precious, do you have what you want to say to them? You can take the floor before we round off. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
I hope we all learned something tonight. Please, if you actually gained something from tonight's lectures, can you drop an emoji? Can you drop an emoji? Okay, so that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So we all know that our boot camp and our IC, the registration, although we're supposed to end the registration today, but because of you and because of some of you that are yet to register, we are giving some additional days for those persons that are yet to register. Please, if you're yet to register, even if it's just paying installment, just deposit something first, because this is a new year, 2026, and for some of us who have been postponing this thing, and for some of us we just really need to learn this skill so that we'll have a shift in our life. Please stop postponing, just deposit something. You can pay in installment, you can pay in installment. I'm emphasizing it again, just pay in installment so that you can get started, and along the line you're going to, for this course, some of the courses, they last for 3 months, some last for 6 months, and all of that. Just get started, just add a skill to yourself, and watch how your life will transform, because we all know SmartHub has alumni, have so many great persons that have impacted, you understand, and they are doing well in the industry. I know many people that have graduated from SmartHub Academy, and they're doing good in different, some of them are outside the country through this tech skill. So just put your mind to it, okay? So at this point, we've done the first phase. Today is the day one. We've come to the end. Tomorrow, I won't see every one of you, so please just come out tomorrow by, in fact it's online, come up tomorrow by 8 p.m. and join the class. So at this point, for those of you that have not paid, in fact I'm waiting to confirm your this thing, your credit alert, so you can start depositing, so that we can start onboarding you into our classroom. Okay, I don't know if the link, okay, the link is on the group chat. You can just click the link. For those who are for IT, your link is there. Just make it seamless, just make the transaction. For some of you that are for those who are for bootcamp, the link is also there. If the link is too difficult for you, our account details are there. Just make deposit, part payments, installments, just make it, then send the screenshots to the account, to the number there, and you will be onboarded so that you will not miss out in any way. Okay, so I will end here for tonight. Thank you so much. Thanks. I'm glad to have you all around. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, Ms. Precious, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that. So you heard it. You guys still have the ability, still have that freedom to go ahead and register. This week we are doing more of introduction. By Wednesday, just so you know, we start version control. So aside from the multi-boot camp that apart from the conference that we're having, which is today and tomorrow, the trainings are going on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the first 2 weeks. Okay. By Wednesday, we officially kick off when it comes to the training. We are going to start with version control for those that are doing web development, data science, data analysis, and the rest of that. By that same Wednesday, the timetable will be distributed to you. The official timetable, so that you know after the first 2 weeks what comes. Okay, after the first 2 weeks what comes. Before I proceed, Walter, are you here with us now?
Yes, I am. I'm
Okay.
here.
I was trying to get attention. Okay, you can address them before I close out, please.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I believe we've heard a lot, and we spoke earlier today in class or at the hall. And again, whatever I wanted to say in closing, I think Ms. Precious has already mentioned it. This whole excitement will only be meaningful if you finally get onboarded. And the best way to get onboarded is to make an installment. because wherever your money is, even according to the Bible for the religious ones, that's where your heart will be. So one good way to make sure that your heart is in this is to make an investment into this thing. So if it's something you believe in, why not? And not just you. If you feel this is something good and you have a friend, you have a brother who needs this, or you know somebody who needs this, or somebody has been on your neck, or you've heard somebody mention something like, I'm looking for an opportunity like this. We still have an online class, so the class is not just on site. That online class can take care of people outside Nigeria. Today, while we were in class, they sent us a contact, and on chatting with the lady, we discovered that she is from and is in Sierra Leone, and she wanted to be part of this training. It was like she's already training with some people in Sierra Leone, but she saw the arts and she want to be part of it. So my point is, the online class also caters for people outside Port Harcourt, outside River State, outside Nigeria. So you have people anywhere who you know would need this, who you know actually need this training. Why not send them the link, give them a contact? They can also join. And the online class is no different from the on-site class. There's no difference. What you be learning on site, same thing you'll be learning online. So people being online are not deprived of anything at all. So you can confidently share the link to whoever needs to register that is not in Port Harcourt, but you know the person needs this opportunity. To me, I call it an opportunity because you can't get, let's take full stack, for example. Nobody will teach you full stack for 90,000. Even if not jazz they use, the jazz no go work and all of that. So you can see the kind of opportunity. And even if you check our training fees for the full IT course, you find out that our fees are subsidized, very, very much subsidized. We train at very good rates compared to the knowledge. And I believe for those of us who have been with us since morning, you can, to a large extent, I don't know, your conscience can attest to the level of our transparency and our seriousness. So you know this is not a fluke. We are not here because we want to gather people. No, 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 no. From the tutors that spoke with us earlier today, you can see the enthusiasm. You can see that they know what they are doing. They are not just telling you because of something they read from a book. They know what they are doing. And most of all, almost all our tutors are working on what they are training you. So we're not talking about people without results. We're talking about people who are already in the system, people who are already working and earning with what they want to teach you. So not just some theoretical you who don't have results. No, all our tutors are already engaged with companies within and outside the country. So that should give you a strong base to know that, okay, we mean what we say and we say what we mean. So get your friends, family, neighbors, lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, get them on board, tell them about what is happening and also come prepared. And I can assure you that in 1 month time, you can look back at yourself now and say, okay, indeed, I have shifted from who I was to who I am now. So on that note, I'll say thank you for your time. Thank you for staying with us. And we'll do this again tomorrow, same time. Have a good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Walter. Roland, we'll answer your question. I'll come to you, please. So just so you know, just like I told you about our online classes, even this session we have is recorded. So by tomorrow, hopefully, we're going to drop the link to the recording in case you want to go over it again, or in case you want to give it to that your friend that you're trying to convince to come and join our session. You can just give them the link to say, okay, this was what happened on day one of our conference, and then also day 2 of our conference. All our webinars, even if you go to our website, you see all the webinars we've had so far, you see them there. You have the ability to decide to watch all of them and say, hey, I'm so in love with SmartHub. Let me watch all the webinars they've had all the while and see what they've been up to. Even our workshops, we have workshops on different areas there as well. You can go through them as well. So once this is out by tomorrow, we are going to drop it on the group chat for you guys to replay if you want to replay, or give it to someone that missed this session as well. Okay. That being said, do well to invite somebody for tomorrow's session. It's still the same time, 8 p.m. We still have a lot to talk about, and then you are going to hear from other tutors as well. Then by Wednesday, like I said, the official timetable will be out to all of you, and then we'll start our training proper, starting with version control, and then we'll send all of you your curriculum to see what you're expecting as well. Okay, thanks a lot, and have a lovely night. If you're not on the group chat, you've not registered, I've dropped the link in this chat. You can go ahead and pick them up and register, or you can chat anybody at all on the group chats. They are going to respond to you. Sorry, Roland, yes, sorry about that.
So you said Wednesday is version control. The version control class, is it for everybody or the general courses?
So the version control is for everyone except product design. We'll let you know before Wednesday how your training is going to be for product design, those of you coming for product design. So it's for everyone, full stack, data science, data analysis, DevOps engineering, cybersecurity. You all are going to learn version control.
Okay, I'm just asking because I'm doing AI engineering. I'm just asking whether it's necessary.
Yeah, so version control is basically how you collaborate with others. So without version control, you can't work remotely. Okay, you know, when it comes to tech, most of us we always look for remote job. If you, in fact, you can't even. It's very hard for you to say you want to deploy whatever you've built if you don't go through the version control pipeline. Yes.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Okay, so the group link, I'm going to drop the group link again for the person saying they can't see the group link. So I've dropped it. That's the group link. Yes, Joshua, cybersecurity also. You're going to be with us for a while, learning version control and problem solving skills before you move down to your core cybersecurity curriculum. Okay, I guess that's all. So don't forget, we have a lot for you guys tomorrow. Do well to share. We'll drop still the flyers, the link on the group chat. Do well to share to somebody. They should come and experience what you've experienced or you're experiencing as well. Thanks a lot, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.